peekaboo, day 62. It's already very warm under here, I assure you. Whew, is it ever toasty? But this just seemed right. This just seemed appropriate as that sort of cliche for feeling really overwhelmed is scurrying under the covers, hiding under the covers, going under the covers, under cover of darkness. So that's what I'm doing. It's a little awkward. My hair is definitely frightful from crawling in and out of here to get a little light on the setup. But you know, guys, this is just this is the thing right now. This is the accurate feeling, and I'm bringing it to you accurately. And I guess I could do a podcast in here because the sound seems pretty weird and good and bouncy. But I don't feel smart enough to bring you a podcast. I feel pretty clueless. Before I scurried under these very heavy blankets, right before I did my scurry, I was thinking about how much easier I used to cry at the news, or how much more readily my tears came. And that bothers me. Like, I don't want to be somebody who doesn't cry at the news anymore. Or it just seems like I am not jaded, but I am just so used to this heavy overwhelm that it takes a lot more to get me weeping, in that weeping place, in that actually letting the information in enough to feel what it's doing to me. Because if I do that, when I actually let it in, of course I immediately start crying. So I feel myself building those mental and emotional calluses so that I might emerge with some sanity or humanity intact. I don't know. I'm obviously struggling to find the proper words. That's okay. I'm coming to you from under several pounds of blankets, and that's just what felt right tonight. I was like, where am I gonna go? Where's my setup? What am I gonna do? Oh my gosh, what are they? Do they like me? Does anybody even like me? Am I ever gonna get more than 41 subscribers? Who even cares? Who's the driver here? Should I pray to someone? What's happening? Can I find success? Do I restart myself? So anyway, this was just some realistic stuff here, guys. And when I did my very zen post, this is hilarious. I thought this was going to be maybe a little bit more like a kid's fort than it's turning out to be. You know, I thought it was going to have a little bit more of that vibe, but it's okay. It's okay. We're jiving and vibing anyway. We're just going with whatever this is. It's very hard on the neck, I must admit. It's rough on the neck. But when I did my zen post the other day, I said that there was some stuff kind of pummeling me, availing itself to me from the worldly news broadcasting to you live all over the world every minute. Everything that everyone's going through, you can access it on your phone. You can tune into the app. You can tune into the podcast. You can tune in anytime. There's a TED Talk on the same thing. But are we fixing it? No, it doesn't look like it, folks. I'm feeling very powerless. So some of those same thoughts and snippets have compartmentalized and materialized and continued to bombard me in various ways to the point that I can't ignore them. And, you know, I really do. Yesterday was a lot of fun. That was pretty lighthearted. I really do want to bring you more of that. I want to lift you from this pandemic, but I also, and the feels and the every other litany of things happening, but I also do feel that part of my pull right now, part of whatever pull or magnet I feel, which is not much, it's very foggy and it's very confusing, but whatever I do feel compelled or pulled to do has to be authentic. And that's become a cliche in and of itself. It's become this overused word. It's become a buzzword. It's become something that people use to promote their Instagrams. But like, genuinely, I can't always be uplifting because I don't always feel like I have it in me or like I can even uplift myself. And so I have to be real to those people in order to be true to myself and to represent those other people like me who are very scared and caught off guard and don't know what to do and want to contribute but are kind of afraid of everything. One thing that I did find helpful or good or useful or somewhat comforting in the news today was a big feature on other people like me, which sometimes you hear those stories that are like, oh, is this you? And it's kind of like it pisses you off because it's like, oh, I guess I'm not a unique snowflake. But then in some ways it's like very cathartic and very connectors, connecting tapes, hooks the tape. Guys, I'm struggling with words and communication. It's really hot. But, you know, it tethers you to other humans and it makes you feel like, okay, well, fine, I guess, you know, this isn't so absurd that I'm feeling this. They're doing a frickin' news report about it and they're interviewing tens of thousands of people or whatever it is that they do to get these studies, all the studies on us all the time, right? We've talked about the studies. But they were talking about people who are just like terrified to return to normalcy. And they're feeling like, oh gosh, I just started to kind of like know who my kids are or who my husband is or who my partner is. And I just sort of started to peel back the onion layers of like who they actually are and find this new life where we actually talk to each other. And now you want me to like double down and work harder and do more and just go back and re-enter. And I don't know, they were just talking about people kind of like forgetting very common skills, forgetting how to speak to others, forgetting how to not let anger get the better of you, participate, communicate, all those things that sound so easy, but now they feel really out of whack and out of alignment and out of tune and just making this kind of dissonance that's hard to hear and grates on the ears and the soul. And like I went for a walk today and it was really beautiful. It was actually super divine, delicious, nature, all that. Ugh. This is how about the setup, you guys. It's visually, I guess, what I was going for, but it's pretty toasty. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I went for this walk and I was very overwhelmed by the amount of people who were just consumed by their cell phones. Not even just talking on their cell phones, but like I tried to give, okay. It's hard to say what you're saying. It's hard to say what I'm saying. It's hard to say things. You know, because I don't mean to be hypocritical, but I point out when those hypocrisies do take place or when, you know, I can admit that they exist, I guess. And it's like, yes, I was on my cell phone too. All right? I will admit that. I was on my cell phone as well. Talking to my best friend. For me, it's more a matter of when I go anywhere by myself as a woman, I have fears that I'm going to be attacked. Constant fears. Because I have been attacked and because shit is crazy and because people are super volatile and having a really hard time and you don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. Woo! This metaphor, this visual metaphor is getting harder to bring you by the moment, but it works. It suits the emotion very much. But yeah, it was like me on my cell phone is still like another human being passes by me and I'm gonna look at you and try to say hello or your dog is cute or whatever. And people just don't even have that ability. They straight up just don't say hi back. And they were all like, every person I passed was either talking very loudly and did not acknowledge me as a human at all, or they were like listening to a really loud podcast about something super opinionated that was like, I don't know, just be in the nature a little bit. Like, I get it. And okay, I'm in it. I'm one of you too. And I'm on my phone because I'm scared because people scare me. And I get that I'm contributing to the problem a little in that way, but I still try to like say what's up and be like, did you see those wild turkeys over there? Did you see that? Like, are you present? Are you here with me? And I hate that I'm scared. I hate that I can't go on a trail that I haven't been to before and not feel like, ooh, I'm a lady, so something bad could happen. That's pretty deeply ingrained. But anyway, I'll try to keep it relatively brief, I guess, because it's so freaking toasty under here. But I just wanted to give you that kind of visual of, I don't know, I do feel like a kid right now. I do. I feel like a kid who doesn't get it anymore. And I'm very scared, and I don't want to lie to you when I'm feeling this way and be like, okay, so today's poem I wrote about butterflies, because it's not relevant to what I'm feeling. So this one's a little tough, but hopefully you can understand or kind of see that I'm trying to find healing in the feeling, in the actual feeling, not the pretend feeling, not the palatable feeling, but what is actually the fuck up with me. Just being genuine in that way and not trying to pretend that it is something that it isn't. But this one is a little grisly, and I've said before that I watch a lot of news, probably more than people think I do, because I seem very like, tra-la-la, I'm in my own world a lot of the times. And yeah, that's intentional, because I do want a different world, and I'm trying to invent it with my mental abilities. Ugh, so toasty under here. We're going to emerge at the end of it. It's going to be cocoon-like and symbolic, and we're going to come out of it to try to give a little positivity on the flip side of this one. But I'll just bring it to you, because it's like a scary story, but it's actually fucking true. And all of this shit came from real pieces of the news flashes today. Are you afraid of the dark? It's one of the reboots I actually don't mind. It's pretty decent, not gonna lie. I like it. The kids are still stealing our 90s youth left and right, but it's pretty good. Check it out. There's one there's one positive endorsement. Here we go. Okay. So I'm just going to give it to you and try not to apologize for it, but I do vow to bring you more of the other side, more of the whipped cream waterfalls. Put it on the pizza. You with me? Yeah. Try to bring you more of those whipped cream waterfalls soon, but this is like the other gross part of put it on the pizza, the schlop that the rest of the stuff they put on that pizza. Kind of gross, kind of hard to choke down. But let's get through it together. Let's do a little processing in this very sweaty tent of emotions. Okay, shall we? All right, sure. This is a weird one. Day 62. A little bit of just coming unglued. That's okay. We'll find some glue and glue it back together or something, or we'll find something beautiful to try to fill the cracks. But here's some honesty. Here's what I felt today. And I did take a beautiful walk. I felt the beautiful sun on my head, and I felt a lot of beauty. I just felt pulled in a lot of different mental directions, because you can breathe the air and you can love it and you can appreciate it, but then you feel the threat upon the very thing you love, and it's hard to know what to do. They all say, donate some money to it, give some money to it. Well, I don't have any of that. They say, get out there and volunteer. It's like, well, I'm fucking scared of everything and everyone drives like they have actual purposeful, vengeful intention to hurt you. And I'm not sure. I'm a little stuck. So we can get unstuck. You can wiggle out of it. I know that that's possible. But this is part of that wiggling, is to actually talk about it. So, without further ado, some realness. This one is called Breaking News and Baffling Headlines. tired of mentally drawing the blinds. I guess I have to not pay attention in order to not be sad. More bombs in Iran and Iraq and Baghdad, and it's constant attacks, and it's never not bad. And the Pope's on his way there. He's coming with prayers and calming gestures while the planet's gone all the way mad. When will the big boys ever just admit they're oil-hungry demon thieves who took the wrong, forsaken route? And old Joe tells them in the Middle East they better watch out. But is that the whole story? Or just the soundbite they can give us to claim the glory, to say that they caught the ball and they're gonna throw that sucker back more aggressively? Yeah, take that. Hut, hut, hike. Airstrike meets airstrike leads to airstrike. Okay, no, now back to COVID spikes, because these damn folks want to do whatever in the blazes they feel like. Kids all of a sudden popping up with what they call long COVID. Kids, young, otherwise healthy kids. Do you get it yet that these aren't paid actors? That this young girl in high school who can't get a full deep breath and has felt she has nothing left for 6 months isn't a trained performer cast to lead us astray? She's a human being who's now in a bad, bad way because everyone around her probably shrugged to say, "It's fine, honey, you don't need to wear your mask here." It's all sunny and pleasant in Denialsville, where we all take the pill that convinces us exactly what we want to believe. Makes me want to dry heave. This inability to grieve with any grace. Okay, so now you're telling me there's many others who don't want to return to the grind, and it somewhat settles my mind. American Psychological Association says now we're always going to worry about every decision. Every move back into whatever they label as normal life. Our human skills begin to atrophy. Oh, goody. Okay, yeah, so that's me. Bonding time has barely begun for families. Now they want us back on the run to outdo some fucking tortoise. Is that all that giving our whole selves affords us? Is that the purpose? Does running in this hamster wheel help me feel accomplished, or does it just allow some overlord to brandish power over my little varmint body, exhausted and not even sure why I'm running anymore? Towards what? What for? Are you sure that's it? Can you double check it, please? Heart all bloody pinned to my sleeve. You best believe it's gotten tugged on and sent through the opposite of the gentle cycle. We cycle back to the same panic attack, the same historical mistakes made in clear printed pages over and over again. They penned novels about this same shit 100 years ago, and the vast majority just can't help but go the same goddamned path. On behalf of what leader? What is this story supposed to be about? No shadow of a doubt that we should have installed some grout before all this shit oozed through. There's a news broadcast with clear instructions daily, but it just ain't getting through. I cannot be soothed even by Lester Holt's smooth baritone or my man Brian Williams' old-time radio storyteller hum. The mental weight is still several tons. I'm holding the key that could get us free, and I'm all fucking thumbs. Reality be throwing me flaming bowling pins, and I've never learned juggling. Okay, next story. Human smuggling. Unfathomable suffering. But everyone I know is just rowing their little boats and somehow staying afloat and having babies. Where's the good news to save me? Last week, hundreds of bodies were freed just in time. I mean moments away from certain death. Actually stacked all those humans being trafficked inside a tanker truck. One of them pushed their luck by smuggling a cell phone in. Otherwise, they'd all be gone. Sin is mutated and there's so many new strains. The masterpiece of this miraculous life is stained. Legitimate pains are just nuisances when they're spoken from hearts just hoping for a little recognition. Just ignoring each other seems to be the new human tradition. Okay, next story. They told her she didn't have cancer, but she did. Badly. Then they covered up the mistake with falsified records and doctored alterations. They wrote letters in her file that never existed before they screwed her, as though they'd owned their fuck up to her. They hadn't. I'm so deeply saddened. Everyone still wants to hop on fads, though. Yo, you want to be seen? Why aren't you on TikTok? Google feed scrolling today. TikTokers posting their abortions. Oh yeah, it's a thing. I mean, of course it is. To the tune of tens of thousands of followers. One such gal posts an accompanying headline to hers. Mimosas hit so much different after an abortion. And people click on it. By the thousands. I wish I made it up, but that was her real quote. Help? Hello? Hope? Do you remember any of us? Bottom of barrel or bust. Duplicitous cavern cusp. Fuck. Next feature. A little light, maybe? No such luck. The coroner cannot keep up with the local drug overdoses. Did you know that you can walk into a Walgreens and ask for a life-saving kit with naloxone and they'll instruct you how to save someone? Do you know anyone willing to take that step? Am I willing to take that step? Must we all become adept at the common occurrence of overdoses surfacing? Is this the new societal courtesy? In the service industry, they constantly barked at us to have a sense of urgency. Maintain a sense of urgency. Where's your sense of urgency? Now I see I was fucking urgent to the wrong cause. Where was this perspective to act as my deterrent to say fuck being urgent for a 15% hard-earned gratuity? That's gratuitous mockery of human ability. My agility is stiff as hell. My regret swells in a pit I pretend isn't upending my stability. What's my strategy out of this flood of too much? A mop and a bucket and a magic touch? So fun to scroll the so-and-sos all inflated by their such and such. Like I told my therapist, I don't know how to jump in on this double dutch. It ain't even as simple as getting all tangled up. It's like if I blow it on the first try, then I'm forever in some rut. How to cut ties with this contrived VR simulation. How to turn these horrible situations around, as they say. Looking the other way seems a real shit option. Though it's a mighty popular one. It may be all the rage, but my morality still shuns it. If you're not completely stunned, it must mean you don't give a shit. I try to educate myself and my very guts flip. But I can't just scroll my feed over here and treat these full-force plummeting asteroids like little blips. I try to hold my magic. But it feels like the royal page carrying the glass shoe stumbled and slipped and there's blood everywhere. Like there was a broken wheel on the pumpkin carriage and it went mid-air. Like Pinocchio was just too scared to talk to the blue fairy and remained wooden and reserved. Like those little Disney birds whispered disparaging words to the prince and he just booked it. Like Hansel and Gretel fell directly in that big old pie and the witch cooked it. Like instead of rubbing the lamp, Aladdin shook it and never got a single wish. Like Prince Charming was too cocky to wear a mask and caught COVID so he could never give Snow White that much-needed kiss. Like all the creatures in the sea never got the memo to stop Eric's wedding and Ariel just had to keep being a mute fish. Like all the heroes got frisked by bodyguards and had their swords confiscated before they could pull off their rescues. Like the actual Grimm brothers endings got inserted just to test you in an already trying time. I switch channels, and it's funnier, but still unsettling and smothering. A she session, describes Samantha B. How will we find a she covery? 82 cents for every male dollar, even before all this earth shaking, so much at stake, the universe trying to wake us the fuck up, but we still hit snooze like it's just a drill. When, oh when, will we get our fill of bikini shots from infinity pools? We gaze at them with jealousy or lust while a minuscule group of tools inherit the earth and effortlessly rule based on nepotism and fool's luck. Empty juice boxes the rest of us still desperately try to suck. They toss us their scraps and feel convinced that will comfort and appease the not-so-royal we. Bamboozlers get off so easy. These proverbial gears sure are greasy. Are we even feasibly able to get back to prioritizing human well-being? Or are we all just seeing it, feeling kind of like shit, then turning it off and hoping it doesn't creep into our nightmares with a painful, disdainful grip? Are there really so many cracks left for all this truth to slip through? Haven't we sort of flooded the cracks and pushed all this stuff fully into view? I think of all those falling and struggling who aren't being captured by some film crew. This now me tries to comfort the then me, because everybody called her fears being negative, simply because I knew. She knew. I felt this coming. I just knew. It's a steel fortress, and some inspirational calendar tells me the only way past it is to go through. Right. I'm running out of tactics. How about you? So, oh my God, did you see how red my face was? Looks like I was having a lot of fun in there. I wasn't. That was really hot. It was an interesting concept, I guess, but oh my God, my neck hurts and I'm so hot. I feel a little bit delirious. That was a little bit insane. But it's okay. I brought you the thoughts in my brain that were hard to bring because they're not like sing-song and fa-la-la. They're like raw and what I'm actually feeling. So I feel sort of disassociated from my body right now, and it's cool. Sometimes it be like that. It's just like it gives me a stomach ache to think about how common and recurring all of those feelings feel, and how it's not even like that can't even shock you. That's not gonna shock you. That's not gonna get me my like I don't know. Nobody's gonna be like, oh my God, like this girl just said it. And that's not even what I'm after, but it's like all of those things I just compiled that were just from today. That was just today's reports. That should really contort your sanity and make you feel concerned. But and it's not I'm not speaking, you know what I'm saying. I'm not yelling at you, you know, you're my audience. I'm relating to you, but I'm saying like the people out there, the peoples, they're not stunned by any of that. They're not like up in arms. They're just like watching true crime and like going deeper into the minds of the sickness and the sickos, and where it goes nobody knows, but it's probably not somewhere good. So anyway, it's just lifting up, looking under the hood, and I'm like, this looks pretty bad. and I'm a person who wants to be like, but you know, we can fix it and we could get there, and there's always a way, and we could just go, and we could still, you know, maybe see some of the music when we get there, whatever pretend event I'm talking about. But you know what I'm saying, it's a metaphor. We're stranded on the highway, we're trying to get somewhere cool, and I'm the person in the group who would believe like we can still get to that cool place. I always have that kind of, you know, whatever you want to call it, je ne sais quoi, je ne sais, I don't even fucking know. Just like I have that glowy hope in my soul, and I feel it dwindling, and I'm really scared of that. I feel the pressures of all of this, what you're supposed to be in your 30s, and what, you haven't done that, and like, just scary shit. People just so fully disconnected that they may as well be programmed. They may as well have the frickin' Elon Musk chips already firmly planted in their brains. 'Cause I'm not seeing that like unbridled togetherness and like quickly building, mounting hope. I'm not feeling that. I don't know. I yelled to some people today that their house was beautiful, and they were nice about it. They were pretty kind. But then I walked away saying, well, gosh, if it wasn't COVID, I guess I would ask them to invite me over, because I miss being anywhere. But yeah, at least I got that little news clipping, little segment today saying, interviewing moms, interviewing random people, being like, no, I'm not really excited. I'm pretty scared. I don't know what reality is anymore, and I forgot how to talk to people, and I just sort of started feeling like my family was my family again, and now they want me back in the hamster wheel, and I don't know if I want to go back in there. It was hot and scary. There wasn't a lot of reward at the end of it. So that was nice to at least feel a little bit of acknowledgement from my TV screen saying, no, you're not the only one who like firmly doesn't know how to do this and isn't just like, yeah, cool, back to it, right on, I can't wait to get a concert. It's like, I was hating concerts before, come on. Is any of you with me? Like a show that should have cost $20 cost $65, and you had to be like harassed and humped up against and sweated upon and have someone spill their drink on your nice dress because, man, you feel that entitlement and that pushiness in place now. It was so firmly implanted into our reality before this. That shoving, pushing. I paid $65 to be here. Me too, man. And I picked out this fucking outfit for hours and you just spilled a whole beer on it. Like, that's how it felt to go to concerts, and everyone around me is just like, oh yeah, I can't wait for concerts. And I'm like, did someone pay you to say that? I want to redo everything. I want to make it different. Not the same. Not back to the same. No. Lame. That was lame. It was lame before. It was freaky and rushing and hustling and not appreciative and lacking a sense of integrity or rhythm or serenity. It was lacking all that before. So I don't know, I'm grumpy. My brow is furrowing. I keep joking with my best friend because so much crazy shit has been happening lately. Hospitalizations and death and surgeries and madness and mix-ups and feelings being hurt and friendships being lost and limitations being tested. And I keep joking with my best friend like, okay, well, it's giving me fine lines over here. I'm getting fine lines. Please stop. Not that that's a priority. That's just like what we're supposed to be worried about, right? At least there's plenty of wrinkle creams. So many wrinkle creams. All the wrinkle creams you could ever dream of. So, yeah. I just wore this Elmo. It's Elmo Sleepy. Because it just added like a little bit of sparkle of, I don't know what, like childlike wonder, silliness, just a little silliness. Elmo Sleepy. Even though now, Sesame Street is controversial. Everything's controversial. Everything's a controversy. I'm so tired. Anyway, I'm just being real with you. I'm not putting a costume on it tonight. I mean, this kind of is, in so much as I wanted to pick out something sort of contrasting, goofy to the like real getting gritty in the nitty gritty ditty that I just did for you. So yeah, I'll say goodnight. I wanted to end it out here in the light and just say that I do have my reserve of hope. I've got it, and I protect it, and I write poems about it, and it's still there. And I try to let the sun nourish it out there, and the birds, and I try to let them like add to it drop little bits of change into the collection, the reserve, hope change hope. Remember all that? Dang. But yeah, it doesn't matter if you judge me or think like, why does she wear so much like kid stuff? And what does she think she is, a kid? It's like, I don't know. None of that judgment matters to me anymore. It just kind of went away, which is a good part of this, I guess. Because it's like, if you can smile, do that. If you can find anything that makes you smile, you should absolutely, I mean, of course, unless it's hurting someone else, don't get weird, don't take liberties. But anything that produces joy or ups the ante on the joy or the little bit of sparkle in the old cheeks, you gotta do that. Don't let someone take it from you or make you feel weak about it or make you feel like less than because you still like the things you liked when you were a kid. I think people who are weird who don't still like those things, who just want everything to be beige and matching and freaking glossy, brand new lacquered cabinets and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Anyway, I think what I think and I give it to you on a platter called poetry. So I hope you got something out of it. Just wanted to like shake it off and end out here in the lightness, go from that dark cave I was actually kind of feeling like I might pass out in, and come out here to say, like, yes, I felt all those things. It was hard. I'm pretty amped up now. I don't know how to go to bed because there's too much in my head. But we can work through it. I just want to end on that I do believe there's tools for this. There's chisels at our disposal to make dents, make sense, make dents or make sense. I don't know. Everything rhymes. Why not? It's a sign of the times, and the times they are changing, and it's strange indeed. But yeah, sorry I didn't have you some. Sorry I didn't have something yummier to feed you, something more uplifting, but I will do that. I just wanted to be actual, give you the actual, factual meat of the stuff. But I'll make you a nice, light, fluffy meringue sometime real soon. Thanks for hearing my heart. It's a scary thing to share, but I'm daring to do it anyway. So we'll do it again and see what we can see tomorrow on day 63. Thank you. Really, thank you. Anyone who's with me here, anyone who's started out with me from 1 and here we are at 62, I love you. Good night.